Hey friends, welcome to our Midweek Moment. Pastor Nicole here. So glad you joined us. Today we continued on in our sermon series, Sabbath 101, How to Create Sacred Space, by talking about how we should put relationships over responsibilities when we practice Sabbath. So we talked about how there's always responsibilities, there are always going to be things to do, but Sabbath is a time set apart, a time for us to invest in relationships in our lives. So I kind of wanted to follow up by just sharing two things that I think keep us from wanting to practice putting relationships over responsibilities on the Sabbath. And the first is guilt. So when there are things that need to be done, responsibilities, things that we need to check off our to-do list, the house needs cleaned, the laundry needs done, we can feel a lot of guilt in setting those tasks aside and spending the day focused on something different. We can just feel a lot of guilt about that because we feel like we have to do these things. These are our responsibilities. We have to do them. And yeah, responsibilities need done, but we can take a break on Sabbath and focus on a different kind of responsibility, which is investing in relationships in our lives, whether that be our family, friends, meeting new people, whatever that might be. Being a part of a community, we can invest in those things. And that is also an important responsibility in our lives. We just don't always think of it that way. So we've got to find a way to let go of that guilt. The dishes are going to be dirty still tomorrow. They will keep. It's okay. The laundry can be put away tomorrow. It's okay. We got to set aside that guilt and instead focus on those relationships. The other thing I think keeps us from being able to practice Sabbath well, especially when it comes to relationships, is procrastination. So a lot of times we will put things off, and then we realize, oh, it has to be done, and it has to be done now. So that can really set our Sabbath up for a disaster. Instead, if we can focus on doing things when we have time to do them, even if it's just a little bit at a time, instead of procrastinating and putting off those responsibilities that we have to do, that can also help us to better prepare for Sabbath. One of the things I really appreciate about the Orthodox Jewish community and the way that they practice Sabbath is how they prepare and spend time thinking about, being mindful about what they need to do in order to Sabbath well. And I think sometimes if we just took some time, even if it's at the beginning of the week, and said, okay, this is what I have to get done. This is the time that I have to get it done in so that I can Sabbath well. It kind of sets us up for success. At least it can set us up it can better set us up for success than, just hoping that things will get done. So as you're thinking about how you might practice Sabbath well in your life, I want to encourage you to think about setting aside that guilt and tackling procrastination head on. I think it will help you be able to practice Sabbath a little bit better, to be a little bit more mindful about it. And I think it will just set you up for being able to enjoy Sabbath more, because you can set those responsibilities aside and really think about and invest in relationships. Well, I hope you will join us this weekend as we continue on in this series. We're going to be talking about putting boredom over busyness on the Sabbath. So come and check that out, whether in person or online. We would love to see you. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.